Living longer, living healthier, living better than ever before. Welcome to Mountain Pacific's Healthy Living for Life, a weekly series that gives you the information, education, and expert insight you need to become an active participant in today's ever-changing healthcare climate. Here now is today's program host.
Exercise and being active is important at any age, but as we get older, fitness plays a big role in staying strong and keeping our independence. No matter how in shape you are right now, yoga is a great way to improve balance, flexibility, and heart health with minimal impact on your body. Welcome to Healthy Living for Life, a show dedicated to helping you do just that. I'm your host, Janet Whitmoyer. Today we'll show you some yoga positions you can do at any fitness level. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Healthy Living for Life. Our guest today is Anna Bradley, a certified yoga instructor who will be showing us how yoga can improve balance, flexibility, and heart health. Anna was previously on our show explaining the benefits of yoga and meditation. Thanks, Anna, for being here with us again.
My pleasure. Good.
Okay, so today, can you tell us how yoga can help us from aging, or aging in a healthy way?
Yeah, you know, we can talk about this from a lot of different angles, but a good place to start is with our balance. As we age, our ability to balance well is impacted, and if we can maintain that sense of balance, we can also avoid falls and injury.
Okay. So how does balance actually affect the aging process?
So not many people know this, but actually the composition of our muscle fibers actually changes a little bit as we age. And so it has nothing to do with our lifestyle. It happens to all of us, but that change makes our reaction time a little bit slower. And when our balance is challenged, we have trouble correcting it as quickly as we used to. Our sense of where we are in space, which is called proprioception, also weakens as we age. And so our peripheral nervous system, which is the part of our nervous system that sends message from our central nervous system to the rest of our body, slows down. And so our reaction times are slower. And it also, reduces our ability to feel and can mean that we over or undercompensate when we feel like our balance is challenged. So I'll talk about later how our arteries and our heart muscles stiffen, and that stiffening actually occurs throughout the body, through all of our joints and muscles, and that has an impact as well.
Okay, so if all of this happens naturally, how can yoga help us?
Yeah, the stimulation of our nerve endings and increasing our blood flow is really key as the nerve endings become encapsulated in tighter muscle and connective tissue and get a little less sensitive. Making sure that our blood flow and making sure we're stimulating those nerve endings is going to do a really great job. And we can play with that stimulation by using our balance in a safe way during our practice. A big problem with balance is that we fear falling. And so if we can practice in a safe way, then we can play with that a little bit better.
Okay, so can you show us some ways that we can help improve our balance and so that we aren't falling in a hurtful way?
Yeah, so let's go ahead and start off. Let's come to the edge of our chairs.
Okay.
And I'm actually going to encourage you to take your shoes off if you don't mind.
Okay.
Especially,
I was just going to ask, is there a reason why, because we see this all the time with yoga, why people take their shoes and socks off?
Yeah, so one of the reasons, especially since we're talking about balance today, and we're talking about stimulating those nerve endings, there are actually, our soles of our feet are one of the most nerve-rich places in our body. There are 100,000 to 200,000 nerve endings, exteroceptors, in the bottom of our feet. And so it's really important that we keep those lively. They get dulled over time, especially with the padding of our socks and our shoes.
Yeah, okay.
And so taking some opportunities to have bare feet and really grounding them down. What I like to do is actually to plant the ball of my foot at my big toe and then roll to the pinky edge all the way down the blade of the foot to the heel. And I do that with each one to really make sure that I'm grounded on all four corners of the feet and my arch is a little lifted.
Okay.
And some people I think have some trouble placing their feet flat on the ground. Just doing your best, really activating, spreading through the toes.
Okay.
And then we're going to start off here by just kind of doing a centering moment. So another way that yoga helps our balance is by teaching us to stay in the present moment.
Okay.
The last time I was here, we talked about how yoga was a mindfulness practice, and mindfulness is really just paying attention on purpose to the present moment without judgment.
Okay.
And so if we're being more aware of our surroundings, our balance will improve.
Okay.
And so grounding those feet down, letting the hands be soft on the legs, and just taking a big breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. This time as you inhale, start all the way at the belly. Feel the ribs expand. Feel the chest lift, and exhale all of it. Let's do that again. Inhaling, belly rises, ribs expand, chest lifts, and exhaling. So we're practicing using the whole lung here.
Okay.
The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to actually come to standing. We're going to play with a pose called tree pose. I'm going to come over here.
Okay.
Janet, if you would just stand in between the chairs.
Okay.
So chairs can be a really nice prop, especially for our balance. And so with tree pose, you can just let your hand rest on one of the chairs.
Okay.
And we're just going to base your left foot and let the toes of your right foot come to the floor and your heel to the inside of your ankle. Yep. So we're turning the leg out a little bit.
Okay.
Perfect. And then you can stay right there. If you're starting to feel a little bit more balanced, if you feel really steady, you can pull the heel up the leg so the foot is actually off the floor. Yep, sole of the foot against the inside of the shin. And so we work to keep either the heel below or toes above the knee. So we're not actually pushing on that knee joint.
Okay.
And then if you're feeling comfortable, you can take your hands off the chair. You can place them together at the heart. You could even reach them up overhead, but the chair is there for you to feel safe.
Okay. So far, so good.
Good. And go ahead and come down, and we'll move on to something else. Ideally, with all of these poses, you do them on both sides. So later, do that on the other side so you don't fall over later.
Okay.
Okay, the next thing that we're going to do is just play with coming up onto the balls of your feet as far as you're comfortable, and then back down. And so people can lift just an inch, they can lift 2 inches, you can roll all the way onto the balls of your feet, or you can come all the way back down.
Awesome.
So again, to where you're comfortable. Do that a couple more times. Nice. And now, as you come to the balls of your feet, breathe in. And as you relax back down, breathe out. Inhale, breathe in. Exhale, breathe out. Remembering that at any time, if you feel unsafe, you can use the chair for support. This time, inhale and reach your right arm overhead. And let it come down. Inhale, left arm can reach up. There we go. So we're starting to engage the brain a little bit. And coming down. And then if you're comfortable, both arms can reach. Good. And back down. At any point, using the chair for support.
Perfect. And we're about out of time for this segment, but we will be back. We'll continue this conversation after these messages.